picture a single old man sitting by a fire thousands of years ago. Inside his head, with no book to check and no note to glance at, he holds the exact location of every waterhole across 1,000 miles of country. He knows the names and deeds of 100 generations of ancestors in order. He can read the night sky like a calendar, and he can tell you which of 1,000 plants will feed you and which will quietly stop your heart. He cannot read. He cannot write. Writing has not been invented yet, and he is not unusual. Across the ancient world, ordinary people carried libraries of knowledge inside their skulls, precise, enormous, and life or death, and passed them on, word for word, for thousands of years without losing a line. So how? How did anyone remember all of that before there was a single word written down? The answer is one of the most quietly astonishing things about your own mind. Because our ancestors didn't just have good memories, they had a technology for memory, a deliberate, learnable system, and we have almost completely forgotten that it ever existed. Start on the oldest continent of continuous human culture, Australia. For tens of thousands of years, Aboriginal Australians have carried what may be the oldest surviving knowledge system on Earth. And one of its keys is a thing called a songline. Here is the idea, and it is genuinely beautiful. A songline turns a journey across the land into a song. As you travel, hill, river, rock, waterhole, each place becomes a verse. The order of the lyrics is the order of the landscape, so the song is also a map. Sing it in order, and you literally cannot get lost, because to forget the way would mean forgetting the tune, and the tune won't let you. And woven into those same songs is everything else that matters. Where the food is, when the animals move, the laws, the stories, the ancestors, an entire culture's knowledge hung on the landscape itself and set to music so it cannot fall out of your head. Now, this might sound like a uniquely Aboriginal gift. It isn't. It's a technique, and it has been discovered again and again all over the world. The ancient Greeks gave their version a name. They called it the method of loci, loci simply meaning places. The legend traces it to a poet named Simonides of Ceos, and Roman orators used it constantly. Facing a crowd with no notes, a speaker would take a building he knew perfectly, his own house, and mentally walk through it, dropping each point of his speech into a different room. A vivid image in the doorway, another on the stairs, another by the window. Then, to deliver a flawless speech, he simply took the walk again in his mind, room by room, collecting each idea exactly where he'd left it. A fact, a name, a line, into a journey through somewhere real. It turns out your brain is spectacular at remembering places and terrible at remembering lists. So, the trick, everywhere, was the same. Convert the list into a place, which leads to a genuinely startling idea. And this is where the researcher Lynne Kelly comes in. Kelly asked a simple, awkward question about the ancient world. Why did people, right at the dawn of settling down, pour unimaginable effort into building giant stone monuments? Stone circles, rows of standing stones, the great statues of Easter Island. We tend to call them temples or calendars and move on. But Kelly argues many of them were also something else, memory palaces made of stone, public, permanent memory machines. Think about it through the method of loci. If you want to store a vast body of knowledge and you have no writing, you need a set of vivid, fixed, unforgettable places to hang it on. A ring of standing stones is perfect. Each stone, each carving, each position becomes a location, a room in a memory palace you can physically walk through, chanting the knowledge tied to each one. Kelly points out that the famous blue stones of Stonehenge hold an incredible distance, are wildly varied in color and texture, which is exactly what you'd want if each stone had to be its own distinct, memorable peg. Not decoration, data storage. In this view, a monument like Stonehenge isn't just a place you look at. It's a place you recite, a hard drive built from rock, holding the knowledge a whole society could not afford to lose. Now here's the twist that should change how you see your own head. You might assume this kind of memory was a rare, ancient gift, long gone. It isn't gone at all. Every year, people compete as memory champions, and they perform feats that look like magic, memorizing the precise order of a shuffled deck of cards in under a minute. Hundreds of random digits. And when you ask them how, the answer is almost disappointing. They use the method of loci. They walk a familiar building in their imagination and drop each card, each number, into a room. The exact same tool the Roman orator used, the exact same principle as the songline. The writer Joshua Foer proved the point by training the technique for a single year and won the US Memory Championship. The superpower was never rare. It was just a skill sitting there, waiting to be practiced. So why does almost nobody have it now? Because we did something no humans before us could. We put our memory outside our bodies, first into writing, then into print, and now into the glowing rectangle in your pocket that remembers every phone number, every appointment, every fact, so that you don't have to. It's a miracle of convenience. It also means that you, a modern human, heir to those 1,000-mile minds, probably cannot recite a single phone number from memory. We didn't lose the ability. We handed it away. So the next time you reach for your phone to remember a shopping list of 4 items, picture him again. The old man by the fire, carrying 1,000 miles of country, 100 generations, and the whole night sky sung into place inside his head. The palace was always there. Most of us just stopped moving in.